What is up, Super Fam? I am Sensei Finito, and he is Battery CEO. And welcome to, well, it's not a pop culture news update. Today, we doing something a little bit different.
Yep.
Welcome to Marvel Bros, where we cover all things Marvel and everything pop culture.
Yep. And on today's episode, we're going to be checking out the series finale of WandaVision. So stay tuned.
Man, it was amazing. Oh, man.
But with that said, don't forget, follow us on all of our social media accounts at MarvelBros23 on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also, don't forget to check out our YouTube channel where we also be posting up regularly. We are all caught up.
Oh, yeah,
So
we're all caught up there.
So.
And also, you can check us out on our website, www.marvelbros.com, where we're live with this right now. And you can check out our merchandise. You can donate, all that good stuff. And our Discord is in the top right-hand corner. And also, all of Marvel Bros pop culture news updates are now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. So make sure you check us out there. So let's just dive head first into it with the magical goodness, and let's see how we're doing.
Okay, so first off, again, spoiler warning. We're gonna be going into spoilers. So if you guys haven't watched this yet, go watch WandaVision. Come on back and join us during the conversation.
Oh yeah, definitely watch WandaVision before you see this.
Right off the bat, this kicks off right from where we left off.
Yeah.
From previously on, which is the title for the last episode.
Yeah.
And we have Wanda.
My bad. I gotta turn this off.
Oh no, go ahead. We have Wanda, Agatha in the air.
Yeah.
Arguing, right?
Yeah. They're in the air arguing, still going back and forth, and it's pretty amazing. No. I think they're on the ground. No, Agatha has her kids still, and then she's looking at her, and they're kind of arguing, and she's like, "Yo, let my kids go." Yeah, she's like, "You don't even know."
Like,
yeah,
yanks them. And I'm like, "Yo,"
yanks them to the ground for no apparent reason. Yeah, just yanks them to the ground, and they're like, "Mom, I need help," and
that was when she goes.
Yeah, we see Wanda throw some magic at her.
Spider-Man, with magic going on.
And then at that point, Agatha just kind of does what we see her do in the last episode when the other witches tried to attack her, and they just straight absorb her magic.
I wasn't expecting that, but I'm not.
It was a nice twist.
It was a nice twist.
Yeah, I wasn't ready.
And then once she absorbed it, Wanda's life force got sucked out of her,
and her hand just started turning black. It was wild. It was like, oh my goodness!
Yeah, we're like, oh no, is this about to happen?
She's not just draining the magic; she's draining everything.
Yep.
And I think with this, they were kind of connecting that the magic is the life force for them.
I think
it's kind of intertwined. Mm-hmm. So it almost seemed like without magic, they kind of were nothing, I guess. You know what I mean?
And then with Wanda's case, because we hear Agatha talk about it before, how if you don't use your magic, you lose your magic.
Yes.
But for Wanda, the stone
allowed her
to keep and manifest her powers and grow.
Yeah, even though she wasn't actively practicing and studying the magic that she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, man, right here, right off the back, not Monica, Wanda and Agatha are in a all-out just battle. It's a magic battle, and it was.
Yeah.
I will say that it was beautiful.
It was.
How did you feel about the CGI and everything of the battle?
I felt it looked pretty good.
I think it looked really good too. You could see that it was a television show. But Marvel.
It's funny because we watched Ulysses right before.
Oh yeah,
we watched this, and the flying there and some of the stuff we saw there looked better than WandaVision. But
in certain aspects, I can see what you're saying.
But Wanda, it's Marvel. I don't have a problem because they make it look good.
Yeah, they made it look really good.
It's not they didn't do a bad job.
It was just certain liftoffs and things. It was man, why did they? You know what I mean? It was why did they choose to do that? But it was still really good.
They didn't do the DC Superman Man of Steel type flying.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. But they were flying far distances too, so that I really loved it. And then so they're having this magic battle. They're going back and forth and whatnot.
Yeah,
and then Wanda tells the kids to run into the house.
Mhm.
And they do. They run into the house. And then at this point, we see White Vision come into the fray. He just kind of flies down and he walks up to Wanda and he just kind of like caresses her face.
I was like, oh my god.
And then she's like, Vision. Yeah, she's like, it's you.
Is it you?
And then he puts his other hand on her head, and then he just starts squeezing, bro. She was like, and then he just picks her up in the air, and then he was like squeezing her head, and I thought he was actually gonna like get her.
He's about
I was
to
like,
get her,
he's
like,
about to get her, and then right at that moment, Vision just crashed straight into him, and then he just goes flying into a car, and it explodes into flames, and it was, oh man, it was awesome. It was awesome. At this point, I'm like, okay. Because something that we've been saying is we need an all-out MCU movie at this point.
We needed this episode.
We needed this episode. I agree. It was like, okay, everything we've seen is now leading up to this. So this whole movie, I even said it before, like at the end of last week's episode and at the beginning of this one, I was like, this is going to be Infinity War right here, bro. Like, it has to be, because we have to have action through the entire thing in order to, because we've had nothing but story up until this point. And I will say that they delivered definitely, bro.
They delivered.
Like,
took a little while, but they delivered.
It took a little while, definitely, but they really delivered. Like, they delivered in full force. And it was amazing the entire way through. Literally from start to finish, I think it was great. I think this was.
I thought it was a solid episode.
Yeah, it was a solid episode.
You were on your toes the whole time.
Oh yeah,
So it felt really good to be that way, considering we haven't necessarily been that way
at all
throughout the whole series.
Yeah, except for those 15 minutes when Monica Rambeau came back.
Yeah,
that was like the most I was on my toes the entire series. It's like watching her come back in the hospital and that entire interaction up until the point of when she went into the bubble. That was awesome. But this. It definitely
it was next
topped.
level.
Yeah, it was next level.
And it could have been a different show, low key.
Yes. I would say that this set the bar for the rest of like the MCU shows. Yeah, like what to look forward to. Especially with things like Loki, and it's like, oh yeah, if they're taking this episode 9 route with everything, there's no reason not to be juiced about what's to come.
And with that said, just to be clear, we don't want the MCU telling the stories the same way they told this story. Yeah,
not at all.
Because they definitely kind of slowed down things and did stuff with the story to where it was so intertwined that it was good. It was a good story. The writing was done really well, but we didn't think it was executed properly.
Yeah.
We thought maybe episodes could have been combined, and that would have been way better compared to having a 30, like maybe like 25 to 35 minute episode and be like,
what is this? What's going on? What was the point?
I stayed up till midnight to watch this type of thing.
Literally, yeah. No, I agree with that completely and that's something that we kind of hope we don't see with anything else. We don't want 30-minute episodes. We don't want 2-part 30-minute episodes for the first one. We want 45-minute episodes. Like, I think 45 is
usually a typical time with commercials.
Yeah, like after... Yeah, you get an hour slot, and then 15 minutes of that hour is usually commercials.
Credits.
So once it gets on Netflix, we got about 45. Yep. Sometimes it is 37 minutes, depending on the episode, if it's a filler or not. But I feel like we had too many fillers within this show. But with that being said, this was a good grand finale, I guess.
It was definitely great. It sucks that it's a grand finale, but we were just talking about it.
Yeah, because the episode is called the series finale.
Yeah, so this series is definitely gone for now.
Yeah.
Maybe something happens down the road. Maybe it's a kid. Maybe the kids get their own show moving forward.
Ooh, I like that.
That might be the route, considering the way movie industry type of stuff has kind of been moving.
Yeah.
But going back to the show, shortly after Vision gets involved, Agatha and Wanda kind of get back into it. Wanda realizes, okay, I can't necessarily do what I want to do. Otherwise, I'm going to get drained,
Yeah.
And so she kind of finesses Agatha with the car.
Oh, yeah. She just...
straight, beat slaps her across the face.
Hits her into a house.
Yes. And then that's when you pointed out there was Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, she Wizard of Oz her. And her shoes were just left under the car and she was gone. And I was like, oh snap, she got Wizard of Oz. And then I think at this moment, this is when we see that Monica Rambeau is actually in the attic with the character who was Pietro, who was playing as Pietro.
Yep.
And she's kind of talking to him, and he's just like, yo, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, he's really super chill dude.
He's super fast. So he's like, I don't really care what she has to do because I'm going to stop her anyways.
Yeah.
That's kind of the mentality he had.
She tried to run away, and he just stopped her.
And
he was like, nah, you can't.
Yeah. One finger to...
Yeah, and then she just flew. Slides. Yeah, that was awesome.
Straight Bruce Lee.
I was like, okay, all snap. What does that mean? And then
from there, I think it goes back to Vision.
Yeah, they're fighting Vision. Okay,
a lot of
Vision
fighting.
And the Vision, because White Vision's name is actually the Vision, but we're just gonna call him White Vision because that's what he's called in the comics.
Yeah,
I don't know why they didn't go with that for the show. They called them the Vision instead of Vision, but White Vision and Vision's fight is amazing. I think that is kind of, maybe to me, that was like some of the best MCU fighting that we've kind of seen. The way they were like phasing through each other to fight, and that was just, it was, to me, that was perfect, like perfectly executed.
You know what it reminded me
of? Like the
of?
pace of the fight, I'll say.
That pace and the way they kind of like portrayed it, it definitely felt like when Man of Steel and General Zod were fighting in Man of Steel.
Ooh, and like how it was like how evenly matched they were.
They were just kind of going at it
like they're going at it so hard that they're just super evenly matched. Yes. That is what I loved, is that it was like, bro, there's no one person that has the upper hand.
Yeah.
It was just obvious that they were just so evenly matched. Yeah. Very similar to how it was with Wanda and Agatha's fight. They were very evenly matched, but at the end of the day, though, you know, it seemed that Agatha had the upper hand on Wanda. And this is when we see them fighting through the air, and then they end up in the town square, I believe.
Yeah.
And Wanda is like in the middle of, like, she's on the ground, and then Agatha's on the roof, and she's talking down to her, and she's like, yo, like, look, you think you're all that in a bag of chips, but you don't even realize what you've really done here.
And you could tell that there's probably a level of truth to what Agatha is saying, but
I don't think she lied to her at all.
She's definitely trying to get her a reaction out of her so that way she can just absorb her powers.
I'm going to say this. Evident. I'm going to say this right now. I don't think Agatha lied to Wanda not one time about anything she said. Yeah. Like, literally. And I think that's going to come back to haunt everybody.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about, like, at the end of the episode, like, because, like, I think the third or fourth episode, I was like, yo, what if Wanda's the villain this whole time?
Yeah.
Like, there's no Mephisto, and she's, like, the villain, you know? And it kind of made it seem like Wanda's going to become that villain, whether that be against her will.
Or not.
Or maybe she's just like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah,
I'm going to become a villain.
I'm the motherfucking Scarlet Witch,
boss
bitch.
Right now.
Yeah.
I can do what I want whenever I want.
Yeah, for real. But through that, you can kind of see Wanda is coming into her power while she's fighting Agatha.
Yeah.
And Agatha starts playing mind games on Wanda, which I thought was very, what is it called? Poetic, I guess you could say, because Wanda is always the one to play mind games. And this actually comes back to haunt her, like, right after this segment.
Yeah, it got pretty real.
It got pretty real quick. So Wanda is in the middle of the town square, and what Agatha does is she then lifts the mind spell that Wanda had put on everyone in the hex. And everyone just starts surrounding her.
Yeah.
And, well, it starts with Dottie. It starts with Dottie. And I was convinced that when it first happened that Dottie was about to have powers.
Yeah,
because Dottie,
they brought her up so much.
And then she had like the yellow glow to her, so I was like, "Oh, is she a witch? Oh, is she a witch?" But the yellow glow was the mind being released from the spell, which was, you know, it was still cool.
Yeah.
And Dottie is like, "Yo, I have an 8-year-old daughter. Is she okay?
I haven't seen her. Can I just
I haven't
go
seen
into
her.
room?
I don't even need to be free from here. Can I just hold her, please? And she was like, "What?" And then that's when Agatha lifts the spell from everyone, and then it's like, "Well, and then everyone just starts surrounding her, like, "Yo, like, look at what you did!" Like,
and we start to see the
we're hungry, we're starving.
Aspects of what Wanda was doing, and she's in denial. Like she's literally telling us, like, "No, that's not true. That can't be." And then they're just like, "No, like
when we sleep, we see your nightmares."
Yeah, like it got really dark.
Yo, when they said that part, I was like, man, there's like
it made sense.
It made sense. I felt like there was no coming back. That's what I felt. I felt like that was the point of no return. Like that to me,
I thought she was gonna kill them all. I really did. I thought she was and then like they'd all just disappear.
They actually asked. She said, if you won't free us,
just let us die.
Just let us die. And then what happened? What happens at this point, bro?
So at that point, like, or no, before that happened, she's like, okay, I'm gonna let you guys go. And then I believe she opens up the thing, and then.
Well, I think even before this, I think Vision and White Vision start talking, right?
Maybe
because
there was a lot of back and forth.
No. Vision comes flying in, and you're on the right path. Go ahead, you're on the right path.
I'm pretty sure what happened was she used her powers to kind of make everyone fall, like get pushed down. But then all of a sudden, they all started getting choked by Wanda's powers, and then. When Wanda realized what she was doing, she stopped it, and then that's when they were like, "Hey, if you're not going to let us out,
just kill us.
Just kill us.
Let us die for real." It got, like you said, it got really dark.
Yeah,
I wasn't ready.
At that point, she was like, "Okay, I gotta let these people go."
So she starts.
She opens it up.
What we saw
in the middle of it,
what we saw happen in the last episode when she created the hex, she kind of reverses it, and all of the energy starts going into her, like straight into her. She just starts absorbing it. And at this time, before this happened, Billy and Tommy were in the attic of their house, and they were watching them kind of fight, and then they watched them fly away, and then they were like, "All right, we gotta go. Yeah, we gotta go help Mom out." And then at the same time, Vision was trying to go help Wanda out, and they're all flying and going towards Wanda, but the hex breaking down starts. So they start to break
them down, and Wanda's like, "Hey, all of you people just need to run as fast as you can." At that point, Hayward and all the sword agents
immediately
took the chance to move in. At this point, I don't know if they're good or bad.
Yeah, I think it was just kind of they're there.
They might just be like they're following Hayward's orders type of thing. But
and before that, they arrested Jimmy Woo.
They did arrest Jimmy
Woo. And then he took a phone and then called in the cavalry, basically. Yeah. And then, so as this is happening, the children and Vision's bodies start breaking down. And Agatha is like, "See, look at what you've done. Like, their souls are basically tied to this twisted fucking place that you've built. So you cannot have one without the other. If you want your children, then you have to sacrifice everyone in Westview. Or if you want the people in Westview to be alive, you have to sacrifice your children." And Wanda closes the hex actually at that point.
And what's going to happen if she keeps going. So,
and the kids in Vision, they get their strength back. And then White Vision comes down. Agatha flies up in the air. And then the sword agents surround them. Come up. And then Wanda just tells the kids, like, "Y'all got this.
Yeah, this is what you were made for. Like, this is what you were born for."
Yeah. So she's like, "I know we didn't train you guys for this, but this is what you were born to do." I was like, "Oh,
got the incredible stance.
Got real incredible vibes going."
I really thought we were going to get like an incredible intro. I thought that's what we were going to get.
No, that would have been dope.
Because I saw that pose and I was like, "That's from Incredibles."
Yeah,
so I was like, that'd be super cool.
I heard it in the background, the da 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 da, like I heard it
because we see the Incredibles like in the theater, so it's like it's there, like it's in their reality. So I thought that would be pretty cool.
I think that's something that's really cool though, is that we see Disney movies existing in the Disneyverse. Yeah. So that's just a little a gem from Disney that I also appreciated from Flora and Ulysses.
Yo,
we might have to do a review on tomorrow because that
had no business being that good.
That's a hidden gem on Disney Plus for
literally
real.
The best movie I've seen
in a
in,
while.
Like maybe all of 2020 and
Oh,
all of
yeah.
2021. Like it's kind of weird.
Yeah. No,
It's weird.
it was super weird. Well, I don't know because I think Onward came out in 2020. So that's Onward is pretty good, bro.
See, that's a discussion.
This is a discussion that
Yes.
we're gonna have to have on another day. But continuing with this is when White Vision and Vision start fighting, and then they're fighting just bro. Okay, I just gotta say it one more time. The fighting was freaking beautiful.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
like next level.
like they were flying through each other. Vision flew through White Vision, and then White Vision grabbed Vision's leg as he was flying
throws
through.
him into the library.
I was like, how is like he was intangible and tangible at the same time, and they were just going through and they were fighting. And then Vision is like, wait. He was like, your primary objective is to kill Vision, right? Mm-hmm. And then White Vision is like, yes, I must end Vision. And then he was like, but you are Vision. And then he was like, what? And then he starts talking about this theory of I can't think of what the exact theory is called.
It's just a paradox
the paradox is if you have a boat and then piece by piece you replace that boat and then you take the pieces that are left over and then build a boat with those pieces, which boat is the real boat? And then Vision and White Vision are like, they're both the boat because it's not the building it, it's what was touched by the person or whatever. So they're like, yep, we're both Vision. And then at that point, Vision touches
like,
White Vision.
Restore your memories. And
freaking
like,
his gem that's not a Mind Stone. And then he restores all of the memories. And we literally see basically a playthrough of all of the movies that he's been all the movies that have
almost every moment that he's been in. Up until
his birth to his death. Literally, that's what we saw. Yep. Now that I think about it, we saw the birth of Vision, which is busting out of that his gestation pod, I guess you could call it. That capsule, that Ultron made. And then we see the Mind Stone exploding when
and again, looking really good.
Yeah.
Better than the first time I've ever seen it.
Yeah,
so
beautiful.
Kind of weird, but
breathtaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At which point we also then see Vision's eyes turn back to normal. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of like, I'm the Vision. And then he takes off.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, he takes off.
And we don't see White Vision again?
Yeah, we don't see him again. And so
that's the last thing we see of him in the entire episode.
And we're like, okay. After that, we go back to, I think, Wanda and Agatha.
And they're getting
it.
No.
Wanda disappears.
Wanda levels up. That's what she's like. Okay, she levels up and then she I
gotta go next level.
Boom, she disappears. And then Agatha's like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. And then she just pops up behind Agatha. And then she does her little chaos magic into her mind. The same thing that we saw her do in Age of Ultron to all the different members of the team. Yep. And then at this point, we see Billy and Tommy going through, and they're doing their shit and fucking up the sword agents right there.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And then Hayward was like, oh, this. And then he gets out, pulls out a gun, and I'm like, yo, he's about to kill. And then oh, yeah. At which point, Photon, right?
Yo, I forgot all about that.
She pops up, she turns into a liquid and, absorbs the bullets.
I forgot all about that.
And Hayward's literally just popping his entire...
He doesn't stop shooting, even though he sees it's her.
Into these kids.
And Monica, he didn't give a fuck.
I know, huh? And then, I forget which one it is, but the one that has magic,
think Billy is the one with the magic.
Stops the last bullet, and he's like, oh, fine. And he gets in his car, runs off, and he's like, wow, this dude's really running right now. Mm-hmm. At which point, Darcy comes through and crashes him into a car and pins him in, so he can't escape.
Yep, and then Billy uses his magic to stop all of the sword agents, and then Tommy runs and grabs all the guns, which was amazing. That was just amazing. I loved all of that. The graphics.
I thought for sure one of them was going to get shot.
Oh yeah,
I really did.
Oh yeah, I did too. I thought that was going to be what caused her to go crazy.
Yeah,
was one of them dying.
Another thing that I thought she was just going to go crazy because of the people that were swarming her. I'm telling her
going on a murder
spree, chill, and she just felt so overwhelmed. I felt like that was a Dark Phoenix moment, from Dark Phoenix.
Definitely.
How she just loses control and just destroys everything. Like I really thought she was going to make everyone around her disintegrate into dust. I really did. I thought that would have been really cool because then it would kind of
solidify her being a villain.
Yeah, and then it would also kind of impact the way that Sokovia Accords are written, and like, oh, the heroes are villains, and like they have to like sign up, and we have to know who's a hero, and then like all of a sudden mutants get involved, and everyone's like, oh crap, like maybe this wasn't a good idea.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, yeah, I didn't even think about because now that they know witches are real, the government is going to be tripping.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see those ramifications throughout the MCU because they're going to be there.
Definitely.
But now we'll go to Agatha's mind where Wanda traps her, or so she thought. Because she gets in there and Agatha is terrified, of course, because she is scared of all of the witches that are now fucking zombie witches.
They're coming back alive to burn her at the stake.
Like they were going to do in the first place. And then they all, like in unison, are like, wait a second.
They realize that what Wanda is. And they're kind of like...
They're like, you're the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, and then at which point... Agatha, I don't think Agatha knew that was going to happen. But
she thought she was about to die.
Yeah, she thought she was going to die for sure. At which
she was terrified.
They all switched Wanda with Agatha, and so now Wanda's on this post. And at which point, I think, does Vision get involved, or she just kind of snaps out of it and then tackles? She like puts the end of the spell and tackles Agatha off the building. Yeah, and they're just kind of fighting, right?
Yeah, and they just fly around and they're fighting, and then that's when they go into the air. And then as they soar into the air, Agatha's like, just give me your power, yo. Yeah. She's like, you don't want this. Yeah. Give me all your power. I'll become the Scarlet Witch, you feel me? Yeah. And then I can fix all of this, and we gonna be good. You don't have to worry.
I'll fix Vision and your kids for you.
And then you guys can go live happily ever after in your fucking bubble. That's basically what she was saying. She was like, I'll keep your little bubble how you want it to be, and just give me the powers because you obviously can't control them and don't want them. Yeah. She says to her, and I think this is the most powerful thing in the episode. She says, your issue isn't power, it's knowledge. I was like, oh, bruh. Yeah. And that might have been the worst thing that she could have said to Wanda, honestly, because
especially the villain to hero combo. Yeah. That's definitely not the combo you want to have as a villain, because then you always know it's going to come back to bite you. Always. Come back to bite. And at which point they start going at it, and for us, we're kind of like, what? What are you doing? Yeah, you're playing a game right now. Yeah. Snap out of it. And they're just kind of going back and forth, throwing light beams that way at each other, and then like.
Wanda's throwing hella light beams at her. She's just hitting her, but at the same time, she's missing her. Yeah, because she's just so angry and she's just throwing energy. And the more energy she throws, each time it hits Agatha, it hits her, and then it kind of gets absorbed. Very similar to the way Black Panther's suit absorbed energy, the kinetic energy when he got hit. It was very similar to that. And then it would just go into her. It hit her as red, and then it would go into her as purple. And it would, each time, just boom, boom, and she would absorb it. And then every time she absorbed it, more and more of Wanda just kept getting like darker and
she
darker.
Just kind of floated in the air and was
her, just a dead life force.
She looked like one of the zombie witches, but like in the air, still flying. It was kind of all
look like one of the zombie witches that still had like 2.5% life force left.
Yeah, and then. Agatha was talking, right?
Agatha was like
talking shit.
She was like, "Yeah, bitch."
She's like, "I told you so. Give me your stuff.
Give me your power." Oh, and she's like, "Well, thank you for your power. That was delicious. But something I need to tell you is that magic kind of just happens, and when it's done, it's done. So I guess
it's all your fault.
You fucked this up. Thank you for the power. Goodbye." And then she goes to zap her away. And it's all fizzles in the air.
And we were kind of like,
oh, shit. Surprise, surprise. Full circle.
She lost her powers. Not sure how. They didn't really kind of explain that. She just kind of lost it.
And because Wanda looks at her.
Yeah. I totally forgot about what happened.
And then Wanda's just, she's like we said, she was like just dead in the air. And then she just slowly gets her life force back. And she's like all the way down to her fingertips, and she just smiles and laughs. And then
I think it pans.
Agatha's like,
all around,
what?
right?
Huh?
It kind of pans after, like...
Yeah, and then Agatha's like super confused, and then it pans out. Yo, Wanda didn't put protection runes on her hex inside. So all the magic that Agatha was basically doing was just gone. Wanda just playing tricks on her, really not even letting her. She really wasn't using none of the magic that she thought she was the whole time. And then Wanda, I think Wanda like reversed the polarity of her shit.
We're not
took her magic away from her. It seemed like
we're not too sure when she did it.
The purple, because the purple energy was turning into red and going into her, right? The same way, like when she created Vision.
That was after
that
the
same
Ruin
shit
thing came into play, though.
That's where we are, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she like after they saw the ruin, she was like, a witch can't use their magic in another witch's thing with ruins everywhere. And she had giant ruins on the wall. They weren't little ones. They were huge. And then after that, that's when she was like, took back all of the magic she gave her and her magic. Stuff. Yeah, because you could see her drained. And then after that, she fell to the floor like a dead
squirrel.
Yeah.
Out of a tree. I was going to say bird, but I just said squirrel.
I was going to say like a dead fly or a dead bird. and just said dead squirrel, and I just was like, oh no. I just saw the floor in Ulysses, and I was like, no! Too soon.
But like during that moment, as she falls, though, we see that vision that Wanda had while in the air, and she kind of forms the costume in the air.
Oh yeah, that was
before saucy. She falls to the ground.
That was super saucy. And as she's taking all of the magic in, that like he says, the crown starts to form energetically on her face, and then her entire fit was just.
I really like the fit, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I like the way like in the comics it's a solid red, but like they kind of gave it like a spider web like type design.
Yeah,
and the armor looks really bad. And it's
it looks
really good.
They did a really good job on that costume design.
They did.
Like they did a wonderful job, and we actually see we see Wanda become her Vision from the Mind Stone, and she also becomes the Scarlet Witch.
Yep.
And with becoming the Scarlet Witch, and kind of also with absorbing. It seems from absorbing Agatha's power that it made Wanda's power an actual darker red color.
It definitely,
because it definitely looked like
different. Her hair's even a little different.
Yeah, she was a little different after that. It was just she was different, and it was, it was just amazing. It was a wonderful episode. It was a wonderful episode, yo. I really liked it.
At that point, we're just kind of winding down from the episode, and she kind of confronts Agatha, and she basically tells Agatha, you know what? Agatha's like, oh, you're going to put me in prison now? She's like, no. I'm going to
leave you here.
I'm going to make you believe that you're
the nosy neighbor. You want to be the nosy neighbor so bad? You're going to be the nosy neighbor then. And then Agatha's like, you don't know what you've done, though. Like, you don't even know basically, you don't know what's Pandora's box you have just opened by becoming the Scarlet Witch. She's like, bro, I don't even care. Bro, boom, and she makes her back into Agnes.
And she turns into Agnes that we saw on the first episode.
And then you can actually kind of see that she was, like, Agnes didn't like it. You could see it. You can kind of see the wanting to pull away that she had. Because even her eyes looked like they were watery, like she was starting to cry. And we definitely forgot to talk about the Darkhold, because the Darkhold comes into play while Agnes is talking.
Yeah, they're talking.
Yeah, while Agnes is talking, and it turns out that is what the book is from from her little dungeon thing is the Darkhold,
and she's actually in a whole chapter.
Yeah,
Wanda is in a whole chapter in the Darkhold.
Which is amazing.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, it's definitely not taking on the same type of flow that it had from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because it was definitely different than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But it still is a really good rendition of the Darkhold that we see here. And Wanda kind of becomes what the picture in the page that we saw. Of her, you know what I mean? And that was awesome.
Almost like fulfilling the prophecy, almost.
Yes, that's exactly. No, yeah, for real. She was fulfilling the prophecy. And that's pretty much what Agatha seemed to be scared of.
Yep.
Was her fulfilling.
And who knows?
prophecy.
Maybe it's just a matter of like, you know what? I'm my own person, and I'm in control.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, we know what happens in the comics with certain characters and how they now have the opportunity to maybe take advantage of Wanda, and like in that they can take control of her almost.
Yeah.
And she could lose control. So that might come into play in the MCU moving forward. We're not too sure.
Yeah. And then that's when we see them kind of wrap it up, like we were saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then Wanda knows that everything can't keep going on the way that it has
definitely
been.
Put an end to it.
She has to.
And she knows that she has to say goodbye to Vision and her kids. And so once
Vision knows it too.
Yep. And Vision is the kind of the one that he talked to her at the end. It was like, you know what has to happen. Like we can't keep doing this. And then it kind of shows them going off into the sunset, back to home. They put the kids back to bed, and then you can definitely tell like this is the last time we're going to see them for a while.
Yeah. And then in the distance, you can see the hex starting to close in through the window of the kids' room.
The whole town's turning back to normal. Everything that was in the hex that's not, it looks like it's been abandoned for a long time. So that's a pretty cool feature, I thought.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The tents, the clown tents, the Soul Circus goes back to the Shield outpost.
Everything just turns back to normal.
Yeah, everything goes back to normal. And as it's closing back in slowly, we see Wanda and Vision, and they're talking, and Vision asks, he's like, after all of this and after everything we've been through, I don't remember a lot. But so I just have one question that I want answered. And he says, what am I?
Those are good questions, because I wasn't looking for, I just didn't think about that,
Yeah.
And those were questions that we had at the beginning, like, what is he? Because we had the notion that, like, did Wanda, like, make a new stone? Like, is that what happened? But
her reply is, you are the Mind Stone that lives within me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, bruh, this is amazing. Like, it was at that moment that I was like, this is a great show.
This is a great season finale. And then we see something special. Mm-hmm. Because we've never seen this from Vision before. He has a tear. So not only, because we see what happens in, what is it, Infinity War?
Yeah, I think so.
He kind of goes AWOL. And then, Bruce Banner and Iron Man kind of like, how is that possible? He's like, he's a machine. He's like, I don't know. Maybe he evolved. And then today, we saw that transition to where he becomes even more human.
Yeah.
Like he's almost adapting to his environment. Yeah. And becomes more of a humanoid in that he now is able to cry.
And show true emotion.
And
true love, honestly.
Mm-hmm. It was a very touching moment.
It was a very touching moment. It
really was.
It was hitting all in the feels.
Yeah. We just kept looking. We were just like, oh.
We were like, bro,
a solid 4 or 5 moments at the end. We're kind of like,
bro,
like what? Like this is getting deep.
This got hecka real.
Yep.
Like even more real than we thought it was going to get. So the hex is closing in back on the house that Wanda created, back where everything started from, which is something I really love. And they kiss one more time, and boom, the house everything is gone. The whole house is gone. Because it was never there it didn't exist. They never built it.
Yep.
So everything that she created at that point was now, gone. Yep. And she goes back to the middle of the town with
all the people, and so they're all looking at her like, sack of crap.
Yeah, they really
hating on her hard. And I thought, for whatever reason, what if they all have powers? They all just kind of go berserk. Some MCU, some mutant shit. Yeah. Or Inhuman stuff, because we know that Miss Marvel's future character is from West Virginia, which is Westview. So, which is in Westview is in West Virginia or something like that. I'm pretty sure. And so that's something I'm looking into later on.
That would be awesome.
But then she kind of talks to Ramboa, and Ramboa's kind of like, if I had what you had, I'd probably bring my mom back to you.
Like, no doubt about it.
Yeah. And
I would do it right now, and you know it. That's what she said. Yeah. And they kind of had that little heart-to-heart kind of moment. Mm-hmm. And then Wanda's like, all right, bro, I'm out of here.
Mm-hmm. Wanda takes off.
All the fans at the end of the chapter. Yeah. Yeah, what's up with it, Carlos?
What's up, Carlos?
Yeah, that was an amazing episode, definitely. Yeah, Wanda takes off though. She flies off. And,
at that point, it was the credits, right?
Yeah, I think credits roll, and then
it's the first end credit scene because there's 2 end credit scenes in this.
Yeah, if you did not stay until the very, very end,
there's another one.
Make sure you stay until the end credits because So in the mid credit scene, one of the
we see Wu. He's just handling it.
Oh yeah.
Here, okay, go there. We need the medical tent over there, over here, and then Ramboa comes up from behind, and then she's kind of like, "Oh, you're really holding up that leadership role pretty well." And then he's like, "Yeah," and then he's kind of like, "Hey, I think someone came up and was like, hey, we need you inside the theater. We have someone that wants to talk to you." And I'm assuming, oh, she's about to get debriefed, you know. Darcy was like, "I don't like to be," so she dipped, and
she was like, "Debriefings is for losers."
Yeah.
No hope for the Spider-Man movie. Nah, man. I think there's a lot of hope for the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. Well,
I think people wanted a little bit too much from WandaVision.
Yeah.
I think us included. We wanted
with a lot of expectations that, for the most part, were held up until like the 5th or 6th episode, maybe even further. But it is what it is, and I even saw some stuff on Twitter today that's our fan theories are the reason why
the show didn't
like
do
well,
good. Yeah,
technically, in the eyes of fans, but
the show did good. Like I think it broke records and things like that. Like it was on #1 of the billboards and whatnot. But I think the end credit scene. I think this whole episode it made it worth it. That's what I'll say. It made
the series worth it. And again, we were fans of how they kind of went about it. But, at the end of the day, the series finale is a good one. And once we get into theater, though, we see that the officer that brought her there ends up being a Skrull.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like, hey, like the big man up there heard you weren't, heard that you're available.
You're grounded. Or you said you got grounded.
And he wants to see you.
Mm-hmm.
And so she just kind of looks up and then she kind of smiles. And then it kind of goes to the end credits. And then we were like,
boom.
Wow.
Obviously, Nick Fury going straight into Secret
We're pretty sure it's Nick Fury. I don't know who else it would be, though. So.
I don't know who else is in the sky in a sword base that we saw at the end of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So we're pretty sure it's Nick Fury.
Yeah, that, and then the end credit scene, we see just a nice, lush fucking forest.
Felt like it was in
the middle of nowhere.
It was like in the
big Red Dead 2 vibes.
Huge farm.
And then we're just kind of zooming in on this cabin. And once we get close to the cabin, we see Wanda sitting on the front porch.
Just chilling. And I was like, yo,
and,
who are we about to see in this house right now?
Yeah, and then her tea is ready. So she goes inside and she gets her tea. And then as she's at the stove, the camera goes past her and it goes into the room. And then we see her sitting there meditating, studying the Darkhold. Man. And then it ends as she's smiling. No.
She hears her kids. And then
they're like, Mom,
and then she closes it, and then it's over.
Yep.
And
Doctor Strange in Bring My Book Back.
That's a good point.
Maybe Superman. Greetings from Colombia. Time to go to sleep with a big deception. Hey man, what I'll say to that is that book is not the book that was in Doctor Strange's Secret Sanctum. That's a completely different book. The Darkhold is not the book that was in the Sanctum.
I don't think
Septurum.
Strange. I don't even think the Master before him had that book available.
Yeah, the Darkhold is from I think the Darkhold isn't even from this dimension if they're going with that play on how the Darkhold works.
Definitely.
Yeah, so be sure that if the Doctor Strange movie is tying directly into this, it's because Wanda is 100% the villain.
Yeah,
she's going to study that Darkhold and she's going to go to hell to try to get her kids back.
Or activate something that she didn't know that she was doing.
Theory time. Okay? Theory time for me. All right? In the comics, Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange team up and go to hell to try and help out his mom, who is a witch from the Salem witch trials as well, right? So what if instead of it being Doctor Strange, what if it's Doctor Doom? Now, what if it's Doctor Doom and Scarlet Witch that team up because they both have the common interest of bringing someone back from this other dimension? And that would be Doctor Doom's mom and then her kids. So they team up and they bring them back. I think that would be an amazing way to introduce Doctor Doom as being a sorcerer instead of being, like a regular, like a yes, instead of shit like that, you make him a sorcerer because he actually is a sorcerer in the comics. Like that, he has magic because his mom is a witch, so he's a magician. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's a wizard, I guess you would say. This just like Doctor Strange, and that's why they rock together. And I think in some renditions he becomes the Sorcerer Supreme, if I'm not mistaken. Dr. Doom does.
Dr. Doom?
I think Dr. Doom has become the Sorcerer Supreme before.
Okay.
Because he has that level of magic to be able to do it. But greetings from California to you, Carlos. Thank you for your greetings from Colombia.
Yeah.
And just stay juiced because the MCU, I don't feel like it let us down with this. I did feel like I was let down with like it was like 2 episodes were good, 1 wasn't, 2 was good, 1 wasn't, 2 was good. You know what I mean? And I think that's a pretty good balance to it. You know what I'm saying? So we're definitely gonna keep holding on for what's to come with Wanda and everything that's gonna be going on there because I know it's gonna be saucy. And I'm not disappointed at all, brother.
This episode definitely made it everything kind of worth it. Granted, I wish they did
a better job
at presenting everything else to us, but in all, it was a good watch.
Yeah,
I can't wait to actually watch back from the very beginning as a whole. Hopefully, it's not as exhausting or draining because it kind of felt like that moving forward, like the first couple episodes into like the later episodes. But then episode 8 just kind of felt like, wow, we thought this was going to be the one. Yeah. But then the next one is the one. And it was the one. So
it was the one for sure.
So that was pretty awesome.
And it was fighting throughout pretty much the whole episode.
The whole episode. I mean, the most talk happened like when Agatha was in the building and then they were in the
Vision talking to Vision and then Agatha talking to her. That was the only talking. Because even when they were in Agatha's dream realm, they were still getting down the whole time. Like the witches was grabbing her and shit. Yeah, that was it was amazing. That was a great episode. That was a great episode. I really liked it. Like I'll give that episode I'll give it an 8. 8.5. I'll give it an 8.5.
I'll give that one 8.5 too.
I'll give it an 8.5. I might give it a 9 because I really liked the fighting. Like the fighting was really good. Like it was really, really good. Like
I feel like I'd probably only give it a 9 or a 10 if they kind of did well by the whole rest of the series.
Yeah. I'm talking about this episode in terms of this episode,
though. I'd probably still give it an 8.5.
Yeah, I'm trying to find reasons to give it a 9 in my head, and I can't really think of them.
It's tough
because we didn't have any cameos from anyone that really mattered like that. You know what I'm saying? It did introduce we got a new character being actual Scarlet Witch. You know what I mean? Like that is in itself a new character because she's on a whole nother power level now.
Yeah.
So I can feel it, but it's like there's really nothing to make it a 9, especially with Pietro being Pietro.
Yeah.
And it just didn't really. And then the kids going away, Vision going away, them not really telling us what happened with White Vision. Yeah, man, it's an 8.5. It's a solid 8.
A lot of other things that were kind of left out. Like what I saw when I was on Twitter was who there to look for in the first place. Because remember he was there for missing persons?
Oh, shit. Yeah.
And like they just never answered that. So there's a lot of questions that I think still need to be answered. But
bro, who was he there for? Why you just tell me that? All right, it's an 8 now. It's an 8 now. Nah, because you can't make this. You have to wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
Chapters 1 and 2, 4.5, 3 to 8, 9, and 9, 6.5. Okay, yeah. Chapters 1 and 2, 4.5, 3 to 8, a 9, and then chapter 9, a 6.5. Dang, so you think from episode 3 to episode 8 are better than?
I understand.
I don't
Only
understand
because
that.
Okay, so leading up to this, because even when I came over here, I was like, "Yo, I'm really scared." Like,
we were scared.
But on Twitter, I could tell that people's opinions or theories kind of got in the way of like they believed in certain theories so much,
like Mephisto and Nightmare,
like Doctor Strange getting involved and all this other stuff,
and Magneto.
To where now that didn't happen, it's like, well, crap, like that. You just kind of like that was like a middle finger to all the fans, you know?
Yeah, but see that, and that's one of the reasons why I stay so far away from theories other than the ones that we create ourselves, because I don't want to get wrapped into that. Because I don't think I was ever on the Mephisto bandwagon, like, ever. We kind of were like, is that Mephisto?
Yeah,
but it wasn't like, oh yeah, let's get Mephisto in here.
If we talked about Mephisto, is because other people that we saw talking about Mephisto were kind of like, okay, could that be Mephisto though? Like, you know. And so that was kind of like how we kind of delved into it. But like
we kept an open mind with it, and all of our issues came strictly from what was going on within the show. It wasn't from the outside bias of theories not coming true. It was more on the basis of, hey, this is a good show, but you're dragging your feet for no reason, Marvel. We need to get in there. Like, you need to give us like just the itty gritty of what's going on. And I feel like they took 8 episodes to do it, but they didn't. You know what I mean? But they did.
It was a long road, but they got to the top of the hill.
Real bumpy.
So now, moving forward, hopefully a week from now. No. Yeah. A week away from now, hopefully, Falcon and Winter Soldier is not going to be the same way. Yeah. Hopefully it kind of stays on its own in terms of...
on the 19th.
In terms of like it's the way its stories are. Yeah. So... let's look forward to.
But I will say that this has me looking forward to Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, I am so looking forward to it.
I high-key have high expectations for this one.
Oh, super high-key have high expectations. I swear to God,
if they make it like this series, I'm going to be mad.
Oh, yeah, we're going to be pissed every Thursday. And you guys are going to just hear us talk about it every Thursday. And we're going to be like, bro, this is lame. I'm hating. I'm mad. But we have super high hopes because... Captain America Winter Soldier is his favorite Marvel movie. And I love how they did the action and everything in Winter Soldier as well. So I just feel like all we keep saying is this whole show is going to be Falcon and Winter Soldier dragged out. You know what I mean? But in a good way, not a bad way.
Yeah, and the trailers have done a pretty good job hyping it up a lot. So hopefully that's the case. WandaVision's trailers, they were cool, but there was never like a serious like hype about it.
It was like, let's go. There was never that feeling ever.
So I guess looking back at the trailers, they never necessarily told you that it was going to be a thrill ride.
No, that's what I'm saying. You know, like I respect WandaVision for what it is, and that's the first Disney Plus original Marvel show, which I think is perfect. You know what I mean?
It's and they weaved so many details together throughout the entire series.
And they gave us, and although they gave us so many unanswered questions, they answered a lot of questions within the MCU as a whole. Yeah. What happened with the blip coming back? What happened with those people? How was it? How did it look? How did they react? Sword. We didn't even really know about that sword was a actual thing that existed. We never really heard it in that, aspect of, hey, this is SHIELD, but not SHIELD. You know what I mean? We never got that until this. And we never really knew we got answers that we didn't even know we needed. With Monica Rambeau, we now know that she's been in the MCU this whole time under wraps. And with them saying she got grounded, that means that she was obviously in space for a long time. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we have a lot more questions, but we got a lot of answers to a lot of things, and that makes me very happy. Like, I know when we go back and watch this, we're going to see so much more stuff. Like, and I know all the other YouTubers, now that everyone is got all the theories out of their ass and we know that they're not true, we can go back and watch this with a new mindset and actually appreciate this for what it is. And that is a good ass Marvel TV show and just great MCU content that we haven't had in a year. You know what I mean?
I'm just glad that we got something in the end. You know?
Yeah.
And I think it's cool that we only have to wait a week until we get our next one. So I'm pretty pumped about that.
Yeah, that's definitely a plus because that's going to give us a week to rewatch this and appreciate it so much more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think would be a cool thing to do? Maybe go back and watch all the Captain Americas, like leading up to Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I love the Captain America
because that's a whole storyline in itself. Is those 3 movies? You know what I mean? Watch Captain America.
I think it's safe. Obviously, the first Avenger.
Yeah, the first Avenger, Winter Soldier, and then Civil War. And then that's it.
Maybe Infinity War and Endgame, possibly. I don't know if those are kind of tied.
Oh, I see what you're saying. In his story, yeah. No, that would be a good way to do it. That would actually be a good way to do it with like all of them. You know, watch 1, 2, and 3 of Thor like that. Ooh, that would be dope. That would be dope. And then to see 1, 2, and 3 of Thor.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna be going off of what happened in Endgame.
Yes.
Moving forward to each thing. Especially in Loki. Like that one's probably actually I don't know.
I think Loki is more with the past.
That Loki is that's a different Loki. So we'll have to see.
I think the Loki show is going to be setting up.
But that's gonna be the 3rd series we're gonna beginning. So
how important time is.
Yeah.
Because we already know about the universe, we know about space, we know about the ground level threats and everything. But what about time? Like how is time holding together after all of this time?
Now that everything's all messed up because of what Tony Stark did.
Because of everything, you know?
Like Hulk.
Hulk
messed it up.
Everyone messed up something, literally. Everyone had a part in messing up a certain timeline, I guess you could say. I just want to see the ramifications of these things. I kind of maybe him going back and talking to his dad created an altered timeline where he becomes King the Conqueror or something like that. You know what I mean? When his dad gets so obsessed with time or something like that. His dad doesn't die, something like that, and then he grows up. He sees he's the same age, so he
has that conversation. He's like, okay, maybe I could be a good dad.
Exactly.
Because up to that point, he hadn't really talked to anyone about being a father, and so
so that one conversation changes everything. It's like, okay, okay,
maybe I can do this, and so he raises him, and maybe something happens, and so we see King the Conqueror.
I like seeing one of the biggest things that I really liked about WandaVision was seeing her come into her power and really harness that energy that she now has because she definitely didn't have it before.
Yeah, and if she did, it was either she didn't have the willpower or the knowledge to really kind of tap into it. But
through Agatha hating and talking shit, she trained her. She trained her to be
like
the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, like it's kind of was weird. Like she definitely kind of progressively got stronger and stronger, and that was something that we were able to see moving forward. And so that was really awesome.
I love to see her teleport. It was like she didn't need to actually do what Agatha was doing.
Yeah,
she just needed to watch her do it, and then she did it. It was like, oh, that's how you teleport? All right, for sure, I got you. I'm gonna do it right now.
And I'm kind of curious to see if we're gonna kind of go into that at all, like especially like whether that be in Doctor Strange. Kind of get a feel for how the magic worked because certain things happened. They were just okay.
I thought she was going to see Doctor Strange at the end of the show when she flew away. I thought she was going to go to Doctor Strange and be like, "Bruh, I know you're a sorcerer. I got this crazy book."
Maybe she did. Like maybe she self-consciously went to him and hey, teach me how to do this. And she did while she was there fighting with Agatha. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
And we actually see that in Doctor Strange. That'd be wild, actually.
Yeah. She was definitely astral projecting though, or something. Yeah, that was
so she learned how to do that. So maybe she could have. There's a possibility she could have done it before. So
yeah, that's true. It was an amazing show, yo. It was an amazing finale for the show.
Yep.
I'll say that definitely. We'll keep coming back to that. I don't know about Carlos saying episodes 3 to 8 were 9 because I don't feel that at all. I'm sorry, I can't.
The episode where Ramboa comes back,
that was a 9 for sure. If it was, I don't know about
that. Might be episode 4 or 5. I don't remember what episode it was.
I think it was 4.
4.
I think so.
All I know is literally the seconds before that moment, I was like, "Yo, did she get snapped? What do you think?" And then all of a sudden,
And then literally,
come back.
her body was getting.
And I was like, "What is happening?"
And I was like, "What do you mean? What's happening?" It's exactly what you said.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, it happened!"
Yeah, bro, man. Amazing. 4, yeah, it was 4. We interrupt this program. Yeah. That was awesome. I can't believe we never figured out who Jimmy Woo
was after. Yeah.
That's
hopefully we'll get answers in. Maybe it would probably be cool if we had his own show. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Like the show is about him trying to find.
Yeah, just find
his homie.
His homie, or it's almost like Supernatural. He just kind of goes to where anything weird happens. Like that's his job with the FBI. Like he's not with Shield or Sword, but like that's what his deal is. Like he just kind of goes to weird places, and this was one of them.
Like to see if he needs to call Sword.
Yeah.
Like, do we need to call them, or can we handle this ourselves? Yeah. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I'm down for all of that. Everything you just said, I'm down for it. But yeah, this was a great episode, guys. I think that about wraps it up. Yeah.
I think that about wraps it up.
One thing I will say is that Wanda's magic got darker. Her red got more darker and manipulated and kind of chaotic.
Her eyes turning red too, and like kind of just like didn't give off a good vibe.
Yeah, it did.
There's definitely a dark vibe to her now. So we'll have to see what happens to her moving forward.
Yeah. That Darkhold, I want all the vibes. Yeah. I want to know everything about the Darkhold. Yeah, that was awesome. But thank you guys for tuning in to another awesome episode of Marvel Bros. We hope you guys enjoyed WandaVision as much as we did. And we also hope you guys go back and do another watch through, because we definitely are going to do that.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be doing that.
We got to do that. We're going to be doing that like ASAP. Like that's going to be the next thing on my list. Like while I'm in here working, WandaVision's on. Mm-hmm. So yeah, let us know how you feel about it down in the comments below. Yep. And don't forget to join our Discord, www.marvelbros.com. Top right-hand corner, you can see our Discord right there. You can join. Also on our website, we go live on there. And you can purchase our merchandise or donate, with all proceeds going to help what we do here for you guys.
And again, make sure to follow us on all of our social medias at MarvelBros23, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel where we're posting everything that we do. This will also be up there pretty shortly. So thank you.
Yes, sir. And we will see you guys on Sunday for another pop culture news update. We love y'all. Excelsior.
Catch you guys later.
All of Marvel Bros. Pop culture news updates are now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. You can also watch Marvel Bros. Live every Sunday on Facebook.com, or you can watch them on YouTube, where we upload regularly. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Marvel Bros. 23 to keep up with all things Marvel and everything pop culture. All of Marvel Bros. Pop culture news updates are now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. You can also watch Marvel Bros. Live every Sunday on Facebook.com, or you can watch them on YouTube, where we upload regularly. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Marvel Bros. 23 to keep up with all things Marvel and everything pop culture.